my voice. I hope that everyone is having a good morning so far. No, I'm not in the comments right now because per usual, I am in an Uber on the way to handle some business. And the person that I'm riding with, and by Uber, it's an inside joke. It's a family member that helps me do things from time to time. Anyway, they do not wish to be on camera, nor do I want my surroundings to be on camera because y'all don't need to be all up in my business like that. But good morning to everyone that is under the sound of my voice. I pray that y'all are having an amazing morning on purpose. I pray that you woke up in your right mind. I pray that you woke up with your goals at the front of everything. Anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. The last time that we talked about monitoring spirits. People that you think are for you, that really have your back, but they're just watching you. They're just absorbing your energy. They're just around for the vibes, you know? The younger people, which I'm 46, but the younger people say, just here for the vibes, okay? And a lot of people, that's what they're there for. They're there to suck up the vibe, not because they really care about you, not because they care about your well-being or have your best interests at heart. They're just there for the vibe, to suck that up and then walk away without pouring anything back into you. So you got to watch out for that. You got to be mindful of who you have around you and who you have in your circle. So a very wise woman, Miss Maya Angelou, once said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Now, that's not to say that people can't change, that people can't evolve, people can't grow, but there are certain things that are at people's core. It's just at their core, and that's just who they are. So I was in a situation where I was around a person that was always bragging. They were saying, how much money they made, and they were always bragging about what they had and what they could get and what they built and what they did. But their reality didn't match what they were talking about. They were saying, how much money they could make, and I can do things by myself, and I can do this and I can do that. But then I watched them pay for things late. I watched them scrape to pay for things. I watched them, and I'm not dogging anybody, I'm not talking about anybody, because I'm just speaking what the facts basically, because we've all had bills that have been late. Let's be real. We've all had things that maybe we didn't pay or couldn't pay or whatever. Everybody falls on hard times. I'm not talking about that. So if that's you, don't take offense, because I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people that are the loudest ones in the room about what they have, what they can do, who they are, and their reality doesn't match their talk. So I was around this person, they were saying, I built such and such business by myself, and I did, these things on my own, and I can do this. But what they were saying didn't match who they were. The way they carried themselves in their head matched their talk, but the reality of the way they carried themselves didn't match. They were, basically grandstanding. They usually say that the loudest one in the room is usually loud and wrong, and that couldn't be closer to the truth. So I started really paying attention to this person's actions. And then they started to tell me, everybody that's been around me has left. And they started going through all the different stories about this person left because of this. This person wasn't, here because of that. And all these people that had exited out of their life. And, for a while, the way they were talking, I felt really bad for the person. I was like, wow, that's messed up, because you seem pretty cool and I don't really understand. And I heard other people voice the same sentiment, that they just couldn't understand why things were the way they were for this person. Why do people keep leaving you? Why do people, not want to be in contract with you? why do people not want to be in the same space as you? Why do they keep walking away? And then the common denominator was always this person. And a very close friend of mine, family member of mine, I ain't going to say friend, family member of mine said to me about a week ago, this space is not for you. And I didn't want to receive it at that time because the space that I was in, I needed to be in to basically take care of my household. We'll just put it like that. And so I didn't want to think about it like that. I was like, yeah, I'm not really, I'm not really 10 toes down in this situation, but I'm taking care of my household with, the things that I'm doing. But I knew that this space was not for me. I knew that from jump. From the time that I walked in the door, I knew it wasn't for me. Because I'm used to working in a certain environment. I'm used to being around certain people. I'm used to exchanging certain energy with people. If I give you good positive energy and I'm positive and I try to do my best and show up for you, I expect those same things. Now I realize life is life and everybody's not going to think or behave the way that I do. So I can expect it, but it may not happen. I get that. But at the same time, I kept getting so many signs. Like, it got to the point where I would walk into this space and my stomach would hurt. I would walk into this space and I would feel great all morning. I would play my music in the car on the way there, and I would do my little praise and worship in the car. Y'all know how you had church in the car when you're on your way to work, right? But my stomach started to hurt, like soon as I would walk through the door, even if nobody was there. So I started paying attention to the signs, like, why am I nauseous? Why do I not feel well when I enter this space? Why does my stomach turn when I'm around this person, but they haven't done anything to me? And that goes back to what I was saying about monitoring spirits. Sometimes you'll feel it before you know it. You'll feel it in you before you know why. And it may not make sense. You'll be around somebody or be around a certain situation, and it'll make you feel sick to your stomach. Or you'll get a headache every time you're around somebody. And you're like, I don't understand why. This person hasn't done anything to me. They haven't done me dirty. That's your intuition, your discernment telling you, get out. That's your intuition, your discernment. It's like when you watch a scary movie and the people go in the house and the house is haunted and the voice says, get out. You're not welcome here, and the people still go in the house. That's what your discernment trying to do to you, telling you, get out, run, flee, get gone. And a lot of times we don't listen because we're trying to figure out the why. And it goes back to, and I'm not somebody that's I'm no preacher or nothing like that, but it definitely, I live by lean not to thine own understanding, because I have seen it happen in my real life where I've tried so hard to understand the why when I just need to be obedient. When I just need to be watching and being obedient to the signs that, God is trying to give me. That, hey, this ain't for you. I've been tapping you on your shoulder. It's literally like the insurance, what is it? The TikTok trend or whatever, the commercial where they tap you on your shoulder and say, I've been trying to contact you about your insurance rates. What's up, Denise? All comments are welcome as long as they are positive, I mean, even if you disagree, just keep it positive. That's all I ask. Keep it respectful is what I mean. Keep it respectful. But yeah, we really have to pay attention. And I think a lot of times we force ourselves into these situations because it seemed like the right thing to do, even though it doesn't feel right. I teach my kids all the time, if you're around a person or in a situation and it doesn't feel right, it's not for you. No matter how fun it may seem, no matter how much everybody else is doing it, it's not for you. So yeah, I really started having an issue because I literally would go into this space and I would be sick on my stomach. I would be around certain people And I would just start to feel nauseous. And I would even say it out loud, like, man, I feel sick all of a sudden. And it was like, what is going on? It got to the point about a week ago where I literally, y'all, was sick at work just because the space was not for me. And I had eaten something, healthy. I wasn't eating junk food or whatever. But I had to realize this space was not for me. So anyway, I just wanted to get on here real quick and talk to y'all and just let you know, if something doesn't feel right, it's okay. It's not your fault. A lot of times we start to feel really guilty and we force ourselves to be in a situation or around certain people because you're like, well, I should be around that person because they didn't do anything to me. Yeah, I feel strange when I'm around them. Yeah, their energy doesn't necessarily feel good, but they're not negative and they haven't done anything to me. So you try to force yourself to be around them. And you only make yourself feel worse. And then you question, well, why do I feel worse? Don't question it. If it don't feel right, don't do it. Point blank, period. There have been several times, especially in my 20s, if I was dating someone and maybe, I like the guy or whatever, getting to know him. And it's like I might be getting ready for a date or whatever. And it's always my stomach. I always will feel nauseous. If something ain't right, I will be sick. I'll be cool one minute and I get around somebody that ain't for me and I will be sick. That's my body telling me that the energy around me is not for me. Everybody has a something. Some people, like one of my grandmothers used to say her eye would twitch when she was around somebody that wasn't right, or when she was around somebody that wasn't supposed to be in her circle. Her eye would twitch. So everybody has that something, that little sign that says, hey, bless you, baby. My baby just sneezed. But yeah, we have to be mindful of the people that we're around, the situations that we put ourselves in, and pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. A lot of times your body will tell you if something's not right before your heart and your mind will. I always feel things in the pit of my stomach. Like if something bad is about to happen, my stomach will just drop. And so I don't question it. I just know, okay, that's my signal to be alert. That's my signal to be like, okay, let me watch out. Let me pay attention. Something about to happen. So yeah, whenever something doesn't feel right, please walk away. Know that it's not for you. Don't feel guilty for walking away. You don't have to make anybody any explanations. You do what is for you. You have one life to live, and it's a very short time. So spend it wisely. Share your space with things that elevate you. Share your space with things that make you feel good. Share your space with people and situations that help you to grow. Stop being stunted. Stop being forced to be in situations because you want to be seen. When you do the right things, you will be seen. You don't have to ask for validation from anyone. So everybody that's under the sound of my voice, I hope that you are having an amazing day on purpose, full of purpose. I hope whatever you're doing today is going to help you elevate, grow, and be better, get better, and do better. Peace and blessings, y'all. I might go live a little bit later. Turn your notifications on, please. I'm going to leave this live up for anybody that might need some inspiration this morning. Peace and blessings. I'll talk to y'all later.